So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can convert any standard 50mm fixed focal length lens like this one into a 100mm, or in this case 105mm macro lens, getting exactly the same results, all for under £5. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of the results you can expect to get. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you enjoyed the clips and you can see the benefit of what I'm about to teach you. So the reason I'm doing this is because way back in 1980, when I got my first ever camera, which is this one, Chinon CM4S with a standard 50mm lens, very, very basic. All you've got is a shutter speed, aperture and ISO for different films, and that's it. But with this camera, it taught me a lot about photography. It taught me how to experiment and play with things. And one of the first things I actually did when I was 13 years old was one day I decided to take the lens off and turn it round, just like that. And what I did was took a photo of a worm, and it ended up being a fantastic macro photo. Now, obviously, when you do this, you've got to work out the exposure yourself. I knew even back then that if I had an average of 125th of a second at f8 with 100 ISO, I could pretty much get a good shot pointing at the ground on a sunny day. Or even in the shade. So I knew that would kind of work. So what I did, turned the lens round, took a photo, ended up with a macro lens with this 50mm lens. Now, the benefits of doing that with an old film camera are, if you can see in there, you can change the aperture when the lens is off the actual camera. Okay, now we want to do this with a modern digital SLR. So to do that, we need one thing, we need one of these. This is a very, very simple piece of kit. It costs under £5 in the UK. One side of it is the filter thread of the lens you're putting it onto. So if we've got this 50mm lens here, it's got a 58mm filter thread, and all we do is put it on and spin it around just like a filter, and it's now locked in place. What it's also got on this side is the Canon EF mount. You can get this for Nikon, Panasonic, all the other different makes and models you can get this for. So all we do then is actually put it onto the camera. So just like any other lens mount bayonet, we just put it onto the camera, and now you've got a reversed lens on one of your DSLRs doing exactly the same principles as this old camera here, but we're now doing it with digital, which makes life so much easier. Now the only thing with this is, if you have a look on here, I cannot change the aperture. If you look at the size of that, that's a full wide 1.4 aperture. Now the thing with that, with macro, that's going to have no depth of field whatsoever. It's going to be super shallow, hardly anything will be in focus, and it won't look that good. So what we need to do is work out how to actually close the aperture. So the way you do that, put the camera back on the lens back on the camera as normal, turn the camera on, set it to aperture priority, set the aperture, here we go on here, to f8. Now what you can do then, most DSLRs have what's called a depth of field preview button. And if you look in the camera here, as I push that button, you'll see, hopefully, that the aperture closes. Okay. So what you do is hold that in, have the aperture closed, then you release the lens, and you should see that the aperture is now stayed closed. Okay, so then what you do is turn the lens round, put it back on the camera, and you've now got a macro lens fixed to f8, so you get more depth of field, better photos, and you can go away and just fire away. Now all those photos you saw, I either used direct flash straight off the top of the camera, or I used bounce flash, or I used, as you can see in this picture, I used a bright light on one of the subjects and set the video running. So this is good for stills and for video. And in this instance, when you saw the video clips, I had a bright LED light onto the film, and I think I set it at around sort of 3200 ISO, f8, and a shutter speed of 50th of a second for video. And for all of the photos you saw, it was 200th of a second with this at f8 with a bright light or a flash, and that's it. So I hope this helps. I hope it really helps you get creative and makes you want to go out and buy one of these very, very cheap little things. I'll leave a link on for Amazon down below. Like I said, they're under £5. If you buy through my link, I make a whopping 16 pence or so. So please do that. It helps me keep the site going. But really, I would recommend if you've got a simple lens like this, a 50mm lens, no matter what sort it is, work out what the filter thread is, buy one of these with the same bayonet mount as the same lens, and then put it together, go out and have some fun. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, give it a thumbs up, like it, do whatever you need to do, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.